Hey everyone, I'm out on a stunning day today. It's really sunny. There's not that many clouds. I wish there was a bit more because it does make quite a difference to my images. I do prefer having that depth in there. But I'm out by the sea at the moment, so just through these trees, the sea is just out there. So I'm gonna have to go through this forest first and see where I get up to. But if I do find something along the way, I'll probably take some photos in here too. But yeah, I think this could be a really nice one. Things are starting to warm up now, so it's not as cold as it has been. I'm still wearing my jacket and my beanie, but not having to worry too much about the cold, which is a really nice thing. But anyway, let's just see how this goes and see what compositions come up. I just found this little bit of waterfall that runs down and goes actually into the sea at the bottom. Starts off at the top, but I'm not really seeing a great composition apart from this little bottom bit here, which I think could actually quite work. I'm not sure yet if I want to get a shot where I'm freezing the motion or creating motion so you see the flow of the water. Generally it does look nicer when you get that flow of the water as well. Okay, so I've stuck my camera here on this little tripod that I put together. Just makes things a little bit easier when I want to get some really low shots. But I'm basically doing a portrait orientation of this, so I'm getting a little bit of the top of where the water is starting and then coming down and into this little pool that's here. So I've decided I'm gonna go for trying to get some movement out of this. So I've got it set at 1/8 of a second, and I've got it also at f/18. So I will be getting quite a lot of detail running through this. There's these two little rocks here just in the second pool up, and I'm focusing on that. So that's basically my mid-ground. So most of this should be pretty much well in focus, and I'm also shooting at ISO 80. So I'm not really sure this is that great of a composition, but I thought I would test it out just to see. I've never actually found any waterfalls in this area before. I mean, this isn't really that much of a waterfall. Yes, it is, but it's small. But I think as a start, it might just work out, and I'll see how it ends up after I've edited it. But yeah, it's just a little nice composition, so I thought I would take the chance while I have it. Come onto this tiny little beach here, and it's actually this rock formation here that's captured me. I'm not so into the water right now, but just the colors and everything of this nice orangey yellow rock here, and then you got the contrast of the green trees in the background plus this vibrant blue sky. I don't know, there's just something really cool about this, and I think it could make a really nice image. So I decided to go for another lowish angle shot here, so I will be getting some of this beach in, and then you have the rocks in the background and obviously the trees behind that. I'm not getting too much of the landscape on the left side, so I'm mainly focusing on these rocks and the line of this where the water just lines up here as well. So I'm going to shoot this at f10. I'm going to just maximize the detail out of this. So I'm only going to focus on the rocks, and at f10 the foreground will probably be in focus anyway, but I'm not trying to get it in focus. I want to get as much detail out of these rocks as I possibly can. So I'm shooting again at a portrait orientation. I just think it works perfectly for that. So yeah, I've got it at f10 and 1/125th of a second. But yeah, I think this is a nice little composition. I just really like how those rocks are with the light on them right now, so that's mainly why I'm taking this shot. So I think it'll work out quite nicely. I just found this interesting orange tree at the top of this cliff face here, and I think it could make quite an interesting composition. There's a bit of green just underneath it from the moss, and then you've got the contrast with the difference of the rocks underneath, which is greyish blue tone with a bit of green spots on it as well. The only reason why that tree is green right now is because it's still at the end, coming to the end of winter, so it hasn't come back with its nice vibrant green colours yet, but right now that kind of works perfectly for this. So I'm not going to get too much into this. I'm just going to shoot this at f4 and 1/125th of a second. But yeah, I think this could be a cool little composition. I've been walking up the cliffside quite a lot now and just going higher and higher. The landscape here is so dramatic, it's just changing a lot. I've just walked past a bit where part of the cliff face has fallen down, so there's just rocks just scattered everywhere. You can kind of see it here as well. But yeah, there is a lot to see. But then this tree here just seriously stuck out at me. It's just coming out on the edge of this rock here, and you're getting it going over the landscape in the background, and it's got this really vibrant green. You've got the blue in the background, you've got the sea. It's just a really nice image. So I had to stop and get this one. So far today, all of my images have pretty much been portrait orientated images, but it just seems to work for these images that I'm finding. Every time I try to shoot them in landscape, it just doesn't look right. So I'm definitely going to go for a portrait orientation again with this image. It just seems to work really well because you get the drop off of the cliff down under, and it just seems to fit a lot better, and I think that's just the way I'm going to have to do this. I'm actually going to shoot this quite low again as well. Right now I'm standing too high, but I need to go lower so I get the branches over the landscape in the background. Otherwise it's just going to look really strange and it's going to cut it off in a really weird way. But I'm going to focus mainly on getting this tree in focus. I'm going to get around f6.4 and shoot at 1/250th of a second. But yeah, I think this just looks absolutely stunning. The view is amazing right now. So yeah, hope you like this shot. I've pretty much come to the end of the land where at least as far as I can go. I've tried to find a few other spots where I can get a little bit further, but this is pretty much it. So right now in front of me I have this little kind of beach, you could say. There's no sand or anything, it's just rocks, and then there's this island that kind of just sticks out. So what I want to do is basically take a photo where I have all these rocks that are under me here, plus a little bit of this cliffside in, just to kind of create a way of making your eye follow around to that island in the background. I think it could be a really interesting image. I'm not super excited about it, but I think it will work. I mean, obviously once I edit things do tend to look a little bit different, and when I see it on computer screen, things always look different that way. But I just thought it would be quite interesting. There's a few like thin wispy clouds in the background as well behind it, which just adds a little bit more to the image as well. So I'm just gonna try and get the composition of this right, and try and get the foreground as much as possible as well. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna go for landscape or portrait yet, but it's interesting. The only thing I don't really like, the reason why I'm not sure about this one so much, is because where the beach is, there's a lot of trees and stuff, but it just doesn't look pretty. It's kind of messy in that area, but the rest of it is nice, and that's kind of why I want to use these rocks and stuff kind of as a distraction, just to make you focus onto that island a little bit more. And so I'm going to go for around f10 on this and 1/25 of a second. I'm also shooting at ISO 80. But yeah, I think it could work. There's a lot of detail in this, like absolutely a lot, because of all these rocks. But yeah, let's just see how the shot turns out. Hopefully it is good. But I'll see how it is when I get back to the computer. Obviously you guys are going to see this first. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for me today, guys. It's been an absolutely stunning day, but finding these compositions have not been easy. I'm not actually sure I'm completely pleased with what I've got, but it's been a definite challenge, and honestly, I do prefer weather that's a little bit more dramatic. Sure, days like this are really great, and mainly I would say days like this are great for going to the beach and being able to swim and stuff, but it's still too cold to even do that. So I do prefer a little bit more drama and some clouds in the sky and just something to be going on. But yeah, I think I got a few things that did work out in the end. Hopefully you enjoyed those images too. But yeah, this has been a good day, and it's it for now. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and leave a thumbs up for this episode, and also leave a comment below and let me know what you actually liked about this episode. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.